Hey guys, this is OciB Violence, bringing the first game from the channel OciB Gaming. Just let you know really why we've been kind of inactive over the last few months, and just bringing you into Call of Duty Ghosts. This is our first video, obviously, Call of Duty Ghosts, and we're going to also go over just the fact that what the team was previously and how we're going to approach Call of Duty Ghosts, and hopefully whatever comes from Treyarch in the future. Anyway, first things first. This is a pretty slow gameplay, which is kind of my first complaint about Infinity Ward's kind of latest game. And it's just map size. It's just all the maps really are too big. There's one or two that are pretty decent size. I think they got perfect, but this one Whiteout is just pretty big, and it makes every game on it kind of slow paced, which kind of worrying about competitive, because it's 4v4. I know teams are thinking about 5v5, but I can't really see that happening. But just, as you'll see in this game, there's times where like I'll get 3 or 4 kills pretty much instantly, but then there's times I'll go 2 minutes without even being in one single gunfight, and I'll be moving around the map to just kind of rotating around between the flags. But it's just, there's only other 6 other people in a pretty big map, so you're not really going to bump into many. But in this video, I come pretty close to my first KAM strike, I end up choking it. Kind of just try to kill her at the end, but it is what it is. End up I think it's 22 I get, but that's later on in the video. Back to competitive. This is kind of one of the reasons why we were inactive in the last Call of Duty game, and it was just because the team never really get settled. There was only kind of 1 or 2 consistent members in the team who were kind of focusing on sniping a lot more than actually producing videos on a regular basis. They were just kind of going onto smaller maps, sniping, try to get kill feeds, but once they got them, weren't really recording anything, and actually just I think they released 2 or 3 videos at the full season, which kind of shows that. But hopefully we'll be posting at least 2 or 3 times a week till we get a more settled rhythm for the rest of the team. Because we are looking to start a competitive team, but we're not too sure who's going to win it yet. There's a few people trying it, and it's just really a matter of trial and error, seeing what team works best, who gets on with each other, because that's one of the main things about being in a team. You want to get on with your teammates. You don't want to just be like 4 guys who are good at Call of Duty but absolutely hate each other, because it's never going to get anywhere. So that's kind of the thing we're doing now. So hopefully we can get back to doing that, pushing into future videos, maybe a few weeks time when that gets settled down. But hopefully it won't be too long. It's kind of drawn out as it is already, because we're trying to do it towards the end of Black Ops 2, but eventually we'll get there once we get people who will be dedicated to try and get in the team. I think it was a bad time now anyway to get into a competitive team, personally, just because there's a lot of game type changes. Like towards the end of Black Ops 2, I played Anchor, which is only really useful in Hardpoint, which has now been eliminated from the game. Also, Capture the Flag's been removed, and they haven't really brought anything to replace them. Like, they think the best one that's come in is Blitz, but a lot of people who've been playing 8s have been complaining, saying it's campy, slow pace, which is going to be boring to watch. If teams are just constantly playing really slow, which brings it back to the 4v4s. It's like massive maps again are probably the problem with that. I think Blitz would be a better game type if there was maybe a capture time on the points. That's or like just even smaller maps. But I'm most curious to see how it plays out in the coming tournaments. That's even if it is involved in it. I'm not too sure what the competitive game types are. I've only really seen Search and Rescue being used in the kick-off tournament of the season. Anyway, just moving on for that. Also, about Hardpoint. I was hoping they would keep that in this game title, but it was clear from the start that Infinity Ward weren't going to keep it. It was one of the first things I heard coming out of the production of the game. But it's just, it is what it is. I mean, just have to get on with it. And hopefully in the near future, well, they'll hopefully bring out smaller maps and DLC. It's one thing I'm hoping for. It's never happened before, is that they bring DLC content into competitive. I don't know if that's realistic or not, or how that will get portrayed, but I've heard a couple people talking about it before in the community, but I'm not too sure on what it is. Another thing I want to talk about, which is I've not really played it yet, because as a big Nazi zombie player, that's one of the first things I ever played in Call of Duty, and it was like the thing that got me into Call of Duty really, because I never played any of the titles really from Infinity Ward. You know, I have the games, but I just didn't really get into them as much as I have done with Black Ops 2. I mainly played the Treyarch games just for what mainly for Nazi Zombies, but DLC. Played a lot of my mates. I think so. Extinction, I think, is the first kind of real similar thing that Infinity Ward have brought out for it. I've only played it 2 or 3 times, but it does seem really good. It's something I'm actually getting kind of pretty addicted to doing. My friends, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's as good as Zombies, but it's definitely a lot closer than what Infinity Ward have been doing before. Another thing Infinity Ward have brought into the games is clan v clans. That's probably mostly what this channel is going to show, because it's the closest competitive, it's the closest thing they've brought out to league play, and it's the other thing me and my teammates have been playing most of recently, just to get used to, well, when the season starts again, what kind of game types you can expect to see in it, what kind of map rotations you're going to see in it, what map playlist type thing. Oh yeah, I just kind of fail shooting that kind of miserably there. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the clan v clan, it's close thing to league play that there's been, and league play was something I really enjoyed in the last one, and it kind of brings me on to the fact that there's no COD caster in Infinity Ward, Ghost, sorry. Hopefully Infinity Ward bring out, they said they're going to bring out something similar to COD caster, but we're going to just wait and see for that coming out and see how similar it is, but I doubt it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. There'll be some kind of variation on it, but hopefully they do kind of do it well, or at least similar to a COD caster. I don't know how I didn't die there. Anyway, on to kind of what league play was, just like the competitive side of Call of Duty. Hopefully Infinity Ward do kind of pick it up, as I said before, we bring out DLC. Hopefully they bring out kind of smaller maps, but you never know. It's just going to be one of those things that you kind of hope for. I think it's around about now I get onto my KAM strike, I'm not sure. But it's just, hopefully, like I said, hopefully Infinity Ward can just improve on their competitive aspects. If you've seen a lot of the stuff they were advertising before Infinity Ward released this game, Ghosts, it was like, oh, we support competitive Call of Duty the full way, because they've seen how much it grown over the kind of past season. Like MLG's YouTube channel, for instance, went from like 8,000 subscribers to over 250,000 in one season, which is massive growth, just because of one Call of Duty title. A lot of the teams, like Nadeshot, nearly hit 1 million subscribers himself. He's probably one of the top subscribed gamers for Call of Duty. It's just, I don't see why Infinity Ward weren't kind of more focused on it. They have asked, I think, for wish lists from competitive players, but you know, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Just, if they're still asking for wish lists of players 6 years into Call of Duty, well, into kind of competitive Call of Duty anyway, then it's kind of, they're never really going to change fully, because they should really know what the competitive scene are looking for after just kind of 2007 to now playing it, really. So I'm not sure how well they're going to support it in the future, but I really do hope they give it back in, because it's one of the things that's kind of fastest growing games really on competitive. Is like, in 6 years it's kind of came quite a long way, and I'm not sure what game type's going to be again for replacing it. I heard Domination was another game type that was in question, kinda about taking over, but again it's like a kind of slow paced game. As soon as teams capture that B flag, they're going to just set up and go for positioning skills, just to try and hold that B flag. They're not going to attack or go into gunfights unnecessarily unless they have to. So it's going to be blatantly watched, and I'm kind of worried that's going to make Call of Duty a lot kind of less interesting to watch. People are going to get fed up with it and just, you know, eventually stop getting involved with it, which is probably going to cost Infinity Ward money rather than make them money, which is kind of obvious. So again, I don't see why Infinity Ward aren't kind of getting into it a lot more than they should do. Oh, if that was an enemy dog, yeah. But anyway, as I said before, like, I really don't understand why Infinity Ward haven't gotten bored with it. But you know, I know it's kind of been me moaning really most of this video about Infinity Ward, but the gameplay once again has been pretty smooth. It's like, again, better than the kind of game textures and stuff, like a lot better than in Black Ops, is my personal opinion. I don't know if people agree with me or not on that one, but it's how I feel. I feel it is kind of, it plays better. and I think it would be played even better so on smaller, kind of more intimate maps. Just so like, here it is now, I'm just kind of floating around the map, not really found anyone in the last kind of minute or so. And it does kind of get boring if you're just kind of floating about the map, even to watch as well. I know people want to watch new Call of Duty stuff, but you know, if, like, most of the time you're floating around not getting kills, it kind of gets repetitive. And it's probably going to get a lot quicker, like a lot stale or quicker than Black Ops content was, because like you can see people dropping really high kill streaks and stuff on it, which I think they're going to struggle with a bit more on this game. Simply just because the slow paced nature of it. But I think this is the only time I've kind of came close to a KAM recently. I don't know how I managed that kill. I should have died there, but yeah, it's close I've came so far. But you know, it's early days for it, so I'm just kind of hoping that Infinity will do in the future, like take note from the competitive scene, previous Call of Duty's pro players, and just kind of give them what they want, just rather than just having a public match oriented game. Even at that, it's not really very public orientated, because you know, it's kind of campy at times, this game. I don't know if that's just me looking for something else to moan at, but you know, that's how I feel anyway. Here's where I die, I'm like 2 or 3 kills off the KAM. I'm looking at the clock thinking I need to rush this a bit, and you know, I get careless, don't check my far side too often, and I just get picked off looking at these guys down here, and it's kind of gutting. It's just, I wish I got it to make the gameplay a bit more interesting, but it is what it is. And I mean, just hopefully my next video will have a KM for you. My friend dropped one, and my one may get lucky enough to get one in a care package. Like, typical, as soon as I choke when I turn around, and my 2 mates have got them anyway. But anyway, guys, this is kind of finished off now. Follow my team at OciB Gaming on Twitter. It's OciB Violence for me, and OciB_Venom for the team founder. Anyway, guys, I'll speak to you